Welcome back to part 3. I told you about part 3. Raised to rule. I promised that I would share some things with you from Yahuwah to his people. I want you to listen. I want you to be encouraged because this is a definite time that we need to be encouraged, isn't it? And you're going to be by the time this is over. We're going to get right into our scriptures so I can deliver this message to Yahuwah's people. The first two, I wanted to set it up to let you know what's going on around us, what's going on in the world, so you won't get distressed from all the horrible things we're hearing about, the mass shootings and the horrible things, the things that are just difficult to even talk about, but that we are sensing some fear. I want you not to fear. I want you to be bold in Yahuwah and know that your Father is near. And that's why the chaos, that's why the violence, that's why the mass shootings, that's why all these things are going on. Because the devil himself is behind all of this. And he is the one that is stirring up hatred, stirring up killings, stirring up mobs against the people of Yahsarel. And this is what you need to know so you can stand firm. Because Yahusha is coming. I want to go with you. I want you to go with me. I'll go with you too. I want you to go with me to Genesis 29 and 18. You may not understand as I proceed every scripture and how it's going to relate to the theme, but as it develops, you will definitely understand it. In Genesis 29:18, it reads, "And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter." He's talking now to Laban, the father of Rachel, and he fell in love. It was love at first sight. This beautiful woman, he fell in love with her. And so he says to his future father-in-law, let me marry her. I will work for you. You know, just dirt cheap. Don't pay me. I'm just going to work and labor and give you my time and my muscle to get this woman. And, of course, we know he agreed. The father-in-law, Laban, he agreed. But we know the trick was that he put Leah in place of Rachel on the wedding night. And that's how we got 2 wives for Jacob, or Jacob. You may not understand where this is playing, but there's a scenario here that you need to understand when it comes to Yahsarel. And the scenario here is that Yah has from the beginning of, before the beginning of time, chosen for himself a bride. Someone that was made in his image, someone that would rule a material world. He already had messengers. You call them angels, but his messengers. They were all spirit. Remember, we talked about everything is spirit. But Yah had something else in mind. Something else in mind. You in mind. Me in mind. We in mind. So we know the story that he did work the 7 years. He ended up working 14. Because after Leah was put upon him, he still had to work 7 for Rachel. I want you to see the love of the Father, our Yahuwah, for us. I want you to see he has a sacrificing love for us that we very seldom talk about. And he is showing you his selection is sure in this scenario. What he chose it. He's not going to choose another. Now, that don't take it the wrong way, because it didn't mean that no one else can come into the faith or come into belief. But I'm saying only Yahsarel is the bride. I've taught that. Go back and listen to one of that brought that particular teaching. But the nations are invited, and we have to remember that and get away from some of this rhetoric that we're the only ones going to be saved. That's not true. Stop saying that. All right? Listen to this in Deuteronomy. But we're the only Rachels. How that? Let's look at Deuteronomy 7:7. Yahuwah did not set his love upon you. You see, Leah wasn't the one his heart was set on. The one he got at first, but that's not the one he wanted. He wanted Rachel. He's showing you his heart. Yahuwah is showing you his heart. He says, he did not set his love upon you nor choose you because you were what? In number? Greater number of people than anybody else? No, that's not why he chose you. Men are attracted to women for various reasons in the natural state. Some like a beautiful women, some like a smart, some like them both, some like them a little homey because they don't want to worry about it when they leave town. I mean, different people have different reasons for loving someone. That's what I'm trying to say. And what he's saying is, you didn't qualify for me, for my love. You didn't qualify. Rachel was least beautiful. You didn't qualify. You were the least. But it was something about you that caught my eye. You are the apple of my eye. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 15. Only Yahuwah had a delight in thy fathers to love them. Our ancestors, our Yahsarelites from the beginning, our brothers and our sisters, our mothers and our fathers. He says, because you were more, and he chose their seed after them. Let me read that over. Only Yahuwah had a delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them. This is generational. You're dealing with seed. You're dealing with generations. Even you above all people, as it is this day. Yahsarel, you are that people. And he has not chosen another people over you, as some would tell you. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 11. I'm building this up. You got to listen. 11, verses 12 to 14. I'm reading King James Version with a little correction in the name. A land which Yahuwah thy Elohim careth for. The eyes of Yahuwah thy Elohim are always upon it. So I'm at the land now. From the beginning of the year even unto the end of the year. Those are the feasts were celebrated, which I keep trying to let you know today was never a command of Yahuwah to take a feast out of the holy city, Jerusalem. Those feasts were taken out by the Ashkenazi Jews, and we are following behind the wrong example. You need to stop. Because as long as we're in the lands of our captivities, it has not been ordained or permitted by Yah for us to do such things. Study. Pray about it. And it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto my Torah, my commandments, which I command you this day, to love Yahuwah, your Elohim, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, that I will give you the rain, R-A-I-N, rain, of your land in his due season. But the Spirit of the Most High has given interpretation of that. The first rain and the latter rain, that thou mayest gather in thy corn, thy wine, thine oil. If you look back at that 14th verse, it says, I will give you the rain, not the R-A-I-N, but in the spirit it's the R-E-I-G-N. He will give you the rain back in Yahsarel. You will have it back in your possession again. This is him talking through his word by his spirit to you and I. In his what? In his due season. Well, wait a minute. Weren't they already on the promise, going towards the promised land here? He's talking to you and I now, Yahsarel. What he's telling you is that you're going to reign. Well, what do people that reign are royal? Let's continue. The first reign was Adam. Adam reigned in the book of Genesis over all of Yah's creation. All of the animals, everything he named. He said, you have dominate everything. You are the ones. You and Eve have dominion over all the works of my hand. And they were the king and the queen, or the king together. And they ruled over this earth. That's the first reign. And that first reign was emptied out when what happened? Satan beguiled Eve, and they both partook of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And that ended man's rulership over his Yah's creation. And Satan became the prince of the air, the ruler of the earth, the influencer of what's going on here. That's what this war is about. It's not a race war. It's a war for kingship. It's a war to rule. Let's go on. I want you to go to Esther, because Esther is the whole, I say enchilada. It's the story line that you as Yahsarelites need to understand. Let's go. I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but let's go to the first chapter in 11th verse. To bring Vashti, the queen, before the king with the crown royal, to show the people and the princes her beauty, for she was fair to look upon. Everything that Yah created was good. That first king, Adam, Eve, was good. But they disobeyed the King of Kings. They disobeyed their Creator. Hallelujah. So Yah went looking for another to rule in his place, to bring back rulership through the heaven and earth coming together as one. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. The will of the Father is to bring rulership back to the earth through his people, Yahsarel. Not finished. He wanted a queen, but the queen let him down. But he didn't give up. He didn't give up Yahsarel, and he hasn't given up now, and neither do we. We now understand the story. Let's read a little further and get some more understanding. Again, I want to remind you that Jacob loved Rachel, served for her. She was the second wife, but the first choice. And I want you to know that you are his first choice from the days before the earth was even formed. He knew you. He knew your name. He knew you would be part of the elect of the Most High. He knew you would be the children of the Most High. He knew through all of the chaos and trouble and trials and the failures and the sin, that he had a plan to bring salvation and redemption back. He is the king. He is the kinsman redeemer. Kin means you're joined by relation, the seed. Yahsarel, you're the seed. Oh, come on. That he is harvesting here on this earth. That he is bringing up with a transformed mind to become rulers again. Not the rulers of the kings of the earth, but the heavenly rulers that will rule the earth. That's who you are. That's why the violence. That's why the hatred. That's why Satan hates you. That's why because he knows he's going to have to turn it over to Yahusha, the rulership of this earth, and you will rule at his right hand with him forever. That's why he's fighting you. And he's going to use, as I spoke to you before, he's going to use the weakest link. Those whose DNA has been tampered with, those whose pineal glands ain't up to snuff, those who have said in their hearts, they're God. They sure can't believe in this one. And that means not only a color issue, no, because there are many of our brothers and sisters that are not, black, that are just as much as Yahsarelites. Some of us don't even know who we are. We are so intermixed with everything from Ham to who knows what. And so we can't make a distinction, though we know basically we come from a very melanated group of people. But we have a lot of mixing going on. In fact, when they left Egypt the first time, they were a mixed congregation. Mm-hmm. And I believe we're going to be a mixed one, even more mixed now. So let's stop fretting and fighting, okay? Thank you. All right, let's get into now Esther again. That's what I want to go. Yeah, I want to go to Esther. Stay in Esther. I want you to see verse 19, chapter 1. All right, it says, if it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. The first Adam failed, but the second Adam brought in the bride back to a standing. So if you look at it that way, you can understand what Yah is doing. Adam forfeited rulership, but through the blood of Yahusha, rulership returns. Through the sacrifice of Yahusha and through the tribulations of Yehudis and Israelites all over this world, we suffered for disobedience. We were turned out. His face was turned out from us. He sent us, according to Deuteronomy 28 and so many other scriptures, out to be manhandled, if you please, by other nations. Read the story of Hosea. and Gomer. His compassion is with us now. Don't miss this moment to be reestablished in knowledge now. Not what you have been taught by those who did not even understand themselves, but by those full of the Ruach, the holy Ruach. My. Listen, let's go to Esther 2:16. So Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus into his house royal. I want you to underline that. It's very important. The royal house, or the house royal. I go to prepare a place for you. That place is royal, y'all. That where I am, you may be also. Wasn't so, I would have told you. He goes to prepare now. The prepared was done when he took that blood to the mercy seat of heaven. He emptied out himself to be able to include you in. Oh, come on. So that house royal in the 10th month, which is the month of Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. Esther 2:17. And the king loved Esther, above all women. This is what is to be established, and this shall not change. Esther was loved above all nations. Yahsarel, you're loved above. I don't say only, because there's some nations, Yah says, I hate the nations. Yahsarel, it's his choice. It's his creation. He does what he wants to do. Who are you or me to question what Yah does? He said, Jacob I love, Esau I hated. Who are you to judge? You just better take him at his word. And those who are not Yahsarelites, come on and believe too, because this is real. Come on and believe this. Listen to this. The king loved Esther above all women, or nations, you can say. And she obtained grace. We have received his grace through the death of Yahusha. We have received his favor in the gift of the set-apart spirit. His sight more than all the other virgins. Remember the 5 foolish and 5 wise? Every virgin that they say is dedicated, every one of them was dedicated to the groom. But everybody didn't make it to the ceremony. So that he set the royal crown. Here we go. I'm going to really enjoy sharing this with you. The royal crown upon her head. That's who you are, Yahsarel. The royal crown will be placed upon your head. And he will make her queen instead of Vashti. I'm going to do another scripture, and I'm going to end and finish this on part 4, because I really want to get into some talking with you on the next series 4. Don't miss it. It's coming up right after this one. Esther 5:1. Now it came to pass on the 3rd day that Esther put on a royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne. There's judgment coming, saints, of the Most High. I should call you the elect, the beloved. He sat upon his royal throne in the royal house. There's that house again. Over against the gate of the house. Yah is coming to judge. But right now, his eyes on his bride again. And he has set a time when he will come for us in the face of Yahusha. And he will gather us himself, not by plane, automobile, boat, balloon. He's coming. No man has anything to do with this. And he will set his royal crown then upon our heads. Why the fight and the violence? You're going to find out a little bit more on the next series, the last one, 4. We're going to end it at that. And you should never be the same afterwards. And you should pray right now that Yah will give you understanding. You carry your mantle well, saints. Carry it well. Carry your inheritance. Don't despise your inheritance as Esau did. Embrace it. Thank Yah for it. Be encouraged by it. Live a set-apart life for it. Die if you must for it. For it is well worth it. For the trials of this life, they're not to be compared to what Yah has prepared for us. You precious Yahsarelites, you precious ones, and all of you who have joined us in this wonderful, marvelous time. Oh, I bless Yah for you. Not to forget to tune in to part 4. It'll be one of the most powerful times we've had together, and we've had many, and we will have many more if Yah say so. So until next time, you go with Yah, go with his word, his Torah, be obedient children. Till next time, shalom.